So if you've ever wondered, how in the heck are they starting to piece together all of this information every week? This is how. Every piece of this chart is a layer. This is where it gets real freaking cool.
What's up, everybody? For those who are new, my name is Marilyn Gomez. I am the Astrology Finance Coach. I teach online entrepreneurs how to align smart money management, their lives and careers with their astrology blueprint. Plus, all of the online tech tools that they need to learn to grow and scale their business. If this is where your heart is, stick around because I have so much to show you.
Okay, guys. So today I want to talk houses, planetary houses, and what they mean. In my practice, I use the tropical zodiac, which is based on the seasons. In case you are curious and you're wondering what it is I do and how am I able to help others take control of their comfort zones and break through these cycles and these patterns that really hold us back. This is how I'm doing it. My goal for this year was to teach you how astrology works in practical ways, how you could use it. You could start now. Even before we ever worked together, you can start to do some deep soul searching. This is how I was able to start to see, okay, if this is a natural part of my makeup, how can I work with it instead of working against it? How can I empower myself instead of cut myself down? How can I highlight those gifts and make sure I'm recognizing when I'm dipping into a lower vibration? You can learn all of that and more beyond. Like, I can talk to you guys and endlessly teach you for the rest of my life about astrology. This is how much you can truly learn about yourself. And then comes timing, and then comes, seasons, and then comes cycles. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful tool. And today we're talking houses. I use the tropical zodiac in my practice and a whole sign house system. Every astrologer has their way, what speaks to them directly. So just know that in case your chart that you may have pulled already looks a little different, keep an open mind, open heart. Astrology, when it's spoken to the masses, is extremely general. There is no way of knowing or telling what's going on for you without seeing your chart specifically and what is happening there. So just please understand that. So when we start to identify pieces of the chart, you will start on this side here. Do you see this number 1 right here in the circle? In the center here? This center circle is giving you the house numbers. So when we say it's going through your 2nd house or it's going through your 8th house, it is coming into your 10th house of career. This is what we're talking about. Your rising sign will always be in this 1st house here. So there's the little symbol here for ascendant, and it will be in this 1st house. So each piece of this chart, each piece of the puzzle has 30 degrees. So what does the 1st house represent? 1st house, this is house of self. This is all about you, yourself, your physical body here, your outlook on life, your lens on life, how you're viewing the world, your characteristics, how you show up and how the world is viewing you, your early childhood experiences. Even, okay, so like say we are doing a business for a business chart, because I am a life and career astrologer, but I really love to help entrepreneurs to awaken their chart, to see what speaks to their soul. So when we are looking at this 1st house, this is the business. That's everything about your business. Okay. Then we're moving to the 2nd house. Now, see, I can geek out and I start to get super excited. You hear it in my voice. My heart starts pumping. I start talking really fast. But I'm trying to really stay focused on just the houses. There are so many things I want to look at, show you, tell you. House number 2. Here we go. This is a financial house. This is your value house, house of money, income, your possessions, the things you value materially, the things you spend money on, your livelihood. Let's see, how you save, your attitude towards money. That is what your second house represents. Third house. And I want to remind you guys, I do have a guide. So I have all of this in my guide. Down in the description box below, you will find the Soul Grow Astro Reference Guide. Grab your guide. You can always follow along with me. This is where it starts to come to life and you really discover, like, man, they're not just blowing smoke up my ass every week. Like, this is legit shit. Third house. This is the house of siblings, your cousins, your neighbors, your community, your mindset. Oh, yes, your mindset. This is a short distance travel. So, like, if you're going to go an hour away, short distance travel, down south, short distance travel, not traveling across the country. That is a different house. So, third house is also like early education. So, certificate education, getting a certificate or certification of some sort, not higher education. That is a different house, like going to the university, different house. What else is in this house? It's just communication, honestly. This is the house of communication. House of social media, things that you're doing within your communications. Okay, fourth house. Fourth house of family. And I've already told you guys in a different video, I know I've pointed this out. Your angle houses, first, fourth, seventh, and 10th are super duper important. Any shifts, any happenings, any transits to those areas of your chart are life-changing. Trust. And I'll leave that right there. Okay, fourth house. This is the house of home and family, your property, the roots. Let's see, your foundations, the traditions that you start, your private life. This I see right here, that's your private life. MC up here, your public life, what you do outside, what you're doing privately. Okay. Moving on. Fifth house. Fifth house, guys, house of children. I love it. Children, house of play, your pleasures, what you're doing for, because you love to do them. They're joyful. They bring you joy, your creativity, entrepreneurship. This is the house. Entrepreneurs, you're usually doing something because it's lighting up your soul. You believe in it so much. You want the world to see it. House of entrepreneurship. House of romance. Let us not forget, this is romantic partners and romance. So, sixth house right here. This is your day-to-day routines, your mundane, daily get up, your routines, okay? This is also the house of health. Daily routines, health, your coworkers, your work you're doing on a day-to-day basis, your workplace, subordinates, so like the employees. This is also animals. They're up in this house. Working animals, service dogs, service pets. Okay, moving on. Seventh house. This is the house of relationships. All of them. Your romantic relationships, your business partners, the close friends you have, all relationships. This is the house of marriage. Because this is also the house of contracts, agreements that you make, negotiations. This is also known as the house of open enemies. So those relationships, they're not always all good. Eighth house. Eighth house, the house of debt, taxes, loans, inheritances, your shared resources house. But this is also, it's a difficult house. It's a spiritual house, but this is the house of rebirth, death, rebirth, and transformation. House of trauma, deep psychological trauma, fears, power, and control. This is all eighth house, guys. But yes, finances, your business finances. This is your business house, the house of your clients, the money you receive from other people. This is also occult practices. Those are all wrapped up. That's a mystery house, huh? Wrapped up in the 8th house right there. Okay, moving on, guys. Don't forget, grab your guide down below. Grab it, because I want to continue to teach you. And I also have my free workshop coming up. I'm super excited about it. It has been so much work, but it's rewarding work. I've lined up my life, my business with my astrology chart. I've brought in my experience in business management and personal finance to bring in some systems along with that to really set up a solid foundation. And that is what I am teaching you on my workshop. I want to share that with you. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we are moving on to the 9th house. 9th house represents religion, philosophy. This is your belief systems, guys. This is the house of long distance travel. This is also the house of higher education when we're thinking university level, going back to school. Going back to university, that is 9th house, that advanced education. Let's see what else. 9th house is foreign cultures, publishing, also teaching, being the teacher, the professor. Okay, so moving on. 10th house. 10th house represents your career, point blank period, work, like work. Long-term work, what you want to be known for, work, your reputation, your public standing, how authority, how you're using your posture, leadership, your occupation, long-term, public image. There we go. 11th house. Okay, so this is the house of friends, house of groups, networks, humanitarian pursuits, what you're doing out in the world, organizations, your long-term goals and dreams. This is all 11th house, those hopes that you have for the future, social recognition, your rewards and your gains, social media, the internet. I get so excited. I've seriously found what lights me up. I feel like that is exactly why I cannot wait to get up every morning. That's exactly why I cannot wait to teach you guys more. I cannot wait. I'm stoked. Okay, so 12th house. The 12th house, this one's a little confusing. Definitely confusing. This is the house of endings, the house of loss. It's known as the hidden house of the zodiac because if you think about it, we make it all the way through. First, moving all the way through the zodiac, 10th, super public, out there. Everyone can see you, spotlight, moving through down to the 12th, house of rest. This is also a spiritual house where we go in our dream space, retreat. We can do shadow work in this house, working on those unconscious behaviors, your subconscious patterns. This is the house of self-sabotage. This point in the chart, hospitals, temples, brothels, prisons, places that are hidden, off the beaten path. So that is what the 12th house represents in the chart. A beautiful place to start to dive in layer by layer. We are going to go through the chart. I already have the video for you to go pull your own chart if you haven't done that yet. And don't forget to grab your free guide in the description box down below so you can follow along and start your greatest journey of self-discovery. Until next time, I'm Marilyn.